Continental Cablevision has also launched a unique project aimed at educating voters on the political process nationwide. Here in the county of Broward, the goal is to help current and future voters better understand the way the media covers and affects the political campaigns. This is being done by implementing a critical viewing project called View Smart to Vote Smart. Young people are being taught how to analyze political message so they develop the skills to ultimately vote smart. Working with local schools, Continental Cablevision has assembled a team of students who researched the races, talked to the candidates, and developed several reports. Joining us now are Continental Cub reporters Ajaman Clay and Caitlin. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Tell me a little bit about how this has worked for you. Have you enjoyed this?
In the city of Lighthouse Point, incumbents Marcia Trevino and Michael Gallagher face challengers Lynn Spinelli and Stephen Brandt for one of 2 seats available on the commission.
I'm Toby and I'd like to welcome you to an interview with Marcia Trevino. How did you get interested in politics?
Well, I really didn't get interested in politics, Toby. I got interested in my city. I was living in Lighthouse Point a few years ago, and I started going to the city commission meetings just to see what was going on. And went to them for a couple years, and then I joined a committee or a couple of committees and got involved in some city activities. And when one of the commissioners decided not to run for re-election, it left a seat open, and I filed and ran for election and was elected. And I've been the city commissioner now for 4 years.
What will you do for the city of Lighthouse Point once you're elected?
I'll ensure that we keep our strong code enforcement so our city stays as beautiful as it is. And I'll ensure that we put aside adequate funds to maintain our rivers, our canals, and our roads and our bridges. And I'll make sure that we keep our high level of services and keep our costs and our taxes down, which is going to be very difficult, and it's going to be a high priority for the commission the next few years.
Well, one of the big issues right now is street closings. I think it's important to address the street closing issue. I'm the only candidate who has specifically said that we need to go out and put together a formal traffic study to see how not only closing streets or leaving streets open would actually affect all the citizens of Lighthouse Point, but also what it would do to our emergency vehicle access and our evacuation plan if we were to have a major hurricane like Andrew come in. One of the other issues, though, is that we have a limited tax base, and that's probably the biggest issue of all and the one that people have been ignoring the most. We are built out in Lighthouse Point. We have a limited area with which to work, and we need to make sure that we budget properly, we handle the finances properly now of the city so that we don't need to raise taxes in the future, and we don't want to do anything that's going to harm the people who've been there. We've got a lot of residents who've lived there a very long time, such as myself, my family, and a lot of the families I've known for many years.
What will you do for the city of Lighthouse Point once you're elected?
There's 2 issues that are facing the city right now, one of which is the street closures, the other of which is the emergency medical services that are available to the city. It's presently being handled by the county, but our contract runs out in October. We're taking steps to phase in our own paramedic units, but because of the cost of equipment and manpower, it's going to take a period of approximately 2 years to do it. But I want to make sure that the services that the city has offered over the past year, over the years, is not going to be interrupted. The other is street closures, which is an issue that sort of divided the city. I'd like to open that to a open forum discussion with the residents and get their input, find out exactly what their thinking is, or put it as a ballot, on the ballot, so that we find out by vote what people are thinking.
Adults weren't the only ones casting a vote today for their presidential favorite. Students across Broward County had the opportunity to vote in a mock election sponsored by Kids Voting Broward. The goal of Kids Voting is to help prepare current and future voters by educating them about the election process. Cub Reporters Nick Ellison and Kathy Schickel talked to students at West Pine Middle School to see what students are looking for when casting their vote for president.
Hi, my name is Kathy Schickel.
And I'm Nick Ellison.
Today we are at West Pine Middle School where students have been voting for the presidential primary elections.
Students have been voting through their social studies classes, and we had a chance to talk with some of them about what they base their vote on.
I look to see if they're trustworthy and to see if, like, maybe they're right for the job. If they are, like, truthful and they tell, like, what they really believe and how they can help America.
I just want to make sure that he can run a business, and if he can run a business, I think he can run the government.
Improve it more, stop, like, most of the violence and everything, I guess.
In a candidate, I look for the trust, that you could trust them, and pretty much what they're gonna, what they say is gonna be true.
The kids' voting polls closed at 5 o'clock, so we are able to report that Bob Dole was the student's choice for the Republican nomination.
Terrific. I appreciate all your time and effort that you put into this. We'll talk to you a little bit later on this evening about how everything's going. When we come back, we'll have another look at how the election returns are coming in.